Oh boy, oh boy, oh me. Today, I'm going to be starting a journey of epic proportions. We're going to be playing one of my top 3 favorite games of all time, Warcraft 3. Reforged! Bleh! Reforged is a terrible, terrible remaster of an amazing game. And as such, what I've decided to do, I'll show you right off the bat, I've turned the Reforged graphics off. However, there's a lot of gameplay changes they made in Reforged, so we're not going to be able to avoid those. I'll try and point those out as we play. So, every few years, I come back and I play this game again, because this is just one of the greatest RTS games ever made. It really was a game that kind of launched people's interest in the wider story of the Warcraft series, including myself when I played this game at a very young age. And I was incredibly disappointed as to the mismanaging of the remaster of this game. My thought process behind doing this series is, one, I want to kind of reckon with how I feel about this game now. I have played it on the Reforged version once, and I never came back to it since. And I want to kind of share my thoughts and feelings about this game and how it and Blizzard has changed over time. Another reason I had was because I have a series going with Max, that being our Dragon Quest series, and I have a series going with Chris, that being our Tour of the Dead series, and so I wanted to do a series of my own, and that'll help stagger releases as well, so we don't get too crunch timed on trying to film stuff. And I really want to play this game again. Because I love this game. I really do. And it breaks my heart what they did to it, to the point where they actually changed, like, dialogue and cutscenes and stuff, for really stupid reasons. There's some really bad audio mixing on certain parts, and I'll point them out. But everything that they kept the same is just as good as it has been since this game originally came out. So, yeah, I'll be playing the campaign, and we'll be going over the story, and the epic moments and characters. Oh boy. So, of course, we have the Prologue Campaign, which sort of acts as a tutorial, and then the first actual campaign, the Human Campaign. So we'll be starting here with the opening cutscene.
The sands of time have run out, son of Duratan. The cries of war echo upon the winds. The remnants of the past scar the land. Which is besieged once again by conflict. Arise to challenge fate and lead their brethren to battle. As mortal armies rush blindly towards their doom, the burning shadow comes to consume us all. You must rally the Horde and lead your people to their destiny. Seek me out.
Oh, yes. Is that not amazing? Uh, dude, Blizzard is the king of video game cinematics, just getting you hyped. So obviously that was all a dream in the mind of our first protagonist here, Thrall. Somewhere in the Wrathy Highlands, Thrall, the young war chief of the Orcish Horde, wakes from his troubling dream. Let's see what he's got going on.
What kind of nightmare was that? It was not a nightmare, young war chief, but a vision. Follow me, and I will reveal what your future holds.
I don't know what this is all about, but I'll play along.
A mysterious prophet is on the wings. We're gonna get the narrator talking here pretty quickly, so yeah, there you go. He's not really important, so I'm gonna try and talk over him for a little bit. If the sound isn't good, I turned it up before recording. I'm gonna turn it up just a bit again. If it's not ideal, like too hard to hear, or maybe even too loud, I'll be sure to adjust it in between episodes. So hopefully you won't have to bear with that. So yes, we have Thrall.
You seem eager to be on your way. However, you must first learn.
Yeah, so the narrator is going to tell us how to play.
Try ordering Thrall to move down the path.
I'm going to
towards the nearby
do
banner.
some story explaining
this,
because
click the
I'm a
move
huge
button in the
nerd
bottom right corner of your
and
screen
I
and
love
then
talking
click on
about
the banner.
Warcraft lore. So before we continue with this level, of course, we are... Oh, the time's actually moving. We are playing as Thrall here. Do we have... Oh, we don't have unit answers on. Hang on. We need the unit answers. How do we get that? Game speed. Can we turn the game speed up faster? No. Sound. Where are the unit enables response sounds for when you order select units? Why are we not hearing Thrall speak?
Let's get on.
There we go. Okay. So yeah, so we have Thrall here, and we're playing in the Wrathy Highlands. So Thrall was, of course, born to the... he was the son of Duratan, the chieftain of the Frostwolf clan, one of the Orcish clans who was very against kind of all the things the Horde was doing, especially all the demonic corruption they had going on. Duratan was very much... he was in the know about Gul'dan essentially being the puppet master of the Horde, and so Gul'dan had him assassinated along with his wife. But they managed to send their baby Thrall down the river a la Moses. So when everyone calls Thrall, like, Orc Jesus, he's more like Orc Moses, if you think about it. So Thrall went down the river, and he was found by the servants of a human named Adelis Blackmore. Blackmore raised Thrall as a gladiator to fight for entertainment. And that's exactly what Thrall did. He eventually befriended a human woman by the name of Taritha, I think her name was, Taritha. And eventually he led a revolt and escaped his enslavement. From there, he freed several more orcs and sort of got a freedom movement going. And he actually met up with the remnants of the Frostwolf clan, finding out his origins. And he also met an orc who just seemed like some hermit at the time, but it turned out that the hermit was Orgrim Doomhammer, the former war chief of the Horde. This all happened after the Second War was lost. So, Orgrim Doomhammer said he wanted to work with Thrall. They could free their brothers from the internment camps that they were all locked up in, and together they would reform the Horde. So Thrall agreed, and they went on a huge spree, freeing as many orcs as they could. It really started terrifying the humans, as you'll see once we get into the human campaign. And finally, Orgrim Doomhammer actually was killed during one of their raids on an internment encampment. He was killed by just a spear through the heart by a random soldier. And in his dying words, he bequeathed Thrall with his armor and, of course, the Doom Hammer that you see him wielding. And so that's kind of where we see Thrall now. He's leading the new horde that he's gathering together, and he's still trying to free orcs from internment camps. But now he's getting this message from this mysterious prophet that we need to be chasing down. Let's go.
Skillfully done. However,
I'm not going to talk too much about RTS mechanics. I guess I could...
In order to reach them, very good.
I'm not listening to the narrator.
Leads through a black area. Notice how the black area shrinks.
This is all just basic RTS stuff. It's if you played any RTS before, you kind of know all this.
Select Thrall and order him to move to the
Here's the orc encampment.
of the encampment.
Loktar, my warriors. We are yours to command, War Chief.
I love the grunts because,
Thrall and his troops move together.
Come on, narrator. I can cancel the narrator talking. The grunts, their voice actor is the same guy who voiced Phoenix back in StarCraft 1, which I love.
Let's get on.
Now that your troops are all selected,
So, I'm going to try to move my keyboard as far from the mic as possible so hopefully you don't hear me clicking all the time. Because I click a lot in RTS games. So we have these grunts, they're pretty powerful. Nice and powerful orc warriors. Orcs are very much like,
to order Thrall's forces to defeat this.
let me just try to cancel these. A gnoll, these dog creatures of the Eastern Kingdoms. It's what Hogger is, if you're familiar with Hogger. He's a gnoll.
But the gnoll's camp lies just
Order your troops to perform an aggressive attack.
Yep, I gotcha. So, yeah, the orcs are very much like the Protoss. In that their units are very powerful, but they're also quite expensive. Gotta level up on Thrall. Alright. They're also like Protoss in that their injuries are kind of permanent. Like, Protoss have the shields, but once they take health damage, they can't get that health back. Orcs have a very low regeneration rate. Yeah, so this is another thing that kind of separates this game from StarCraft, in that you actually have a hero unit, and they're the most important thing that distinguishes Warcraft from other RTS games. So, Thrall is the Farseer hero, and this is very much the basis that they use for him in Heroes of the Storm, while also throwing some stuff in from the Shaman in World of Warcraft. So as you can see here, we have this ability Farsight, which lets us just reveal an area of the map. So for example, we can just hit like, boop, and we just see a place we can't get to, I would imagine. But yeah, you can use it. It doesn't have a cooldown, but it costs mana. And then if we open up here, we can get Chain Lightning as well. So if you played Thrall in Heroes of the Storm, you'd know Chain Lightning is one of his main abilities.
War Chief, we've discovered a group of Murloc raiders in the nearby river.
The Murlocs would make excellent targets for your new Chain Lightning spell.
Indeed it would, narrator. The Murlocs, oh boy. I believe this is the first game they appeared in, and then they became kind of infamous in World of Warcraft. So we're gonna go ahead and zap them. Chain Lightning is very powerful, but it costs a lot of mana. You can only use it like 3 times before you're
monsters drop
completely out.
When they are defeated.
Pushing a mana.
This particular treasure chest contained a useful potion of mana. Notice that the potion now occupies one of Thrall's inventory slots.
Listen, narrator, this is all stuff I can explain.
Potions of mana.
I like the narrator's voice though. It's quite fun.
Let's get on.
It's odd because when you play early on in each of the campaigns, they'll have like characters explaining how that race works, whereas in this they just have a random narrator.
The wolf howl signifies that night has begun.
Be wary, my warriors. Don't let nightfall dull your senses.
This is another thing that distinguishes this game from StarCraft, is that this is the day-night cycle, which affects your vision.
The spirits.
And one of the races in particular actually has a bunch of bonuses they get during night.
Dabu.
Gotta be careful. You have these
Let's get on.
neutral mobs here.
Yes. Dabu.
You can actually come down this way and find a little secret. Ooh,
For honor.
potion of healing.
Spirits are
Not too
restless.
useful on Thrall, because Thrall is a ranged kind of caster character, so he's usually in the back while the grunts are taking the
I
damage
am
in the front.
The war chief.
But it's good to know.
Ogre. We'd have a fierce battle on our hands if the beast weren't sleeping.
The ogres, yeah. So the ogres were creatures brought from Draenor. They came with the Horde, and then they kind of just became mainstays on Azeroth. They originally fought with the Horde, and then once the Second War was lost, they just kind of all went into their separate clans and just found whatever lands they could to live in. And people didn't really want to bother them because they're ogres. They're big and scary and stupid. We're gonna attack this guy, actually.
The war
A lot of mobs will sleep at night.
spirits are restless.
Yes, what a fierce battle.
The spirits are restless.
There you go.
Lokrigar Nogal. Dabu.
Oh, the music in this game is so amazing.
Dabu.
This game is just great.
Yes. Dabu. For honor.
Ooh,
Watch yourselves, my brethren. Those creatures do not sleep at night.
yes, a golem, or a golem, if you will. So yeah, not only do they sleep at night, I'll show you when we fight another one, but golems are completely immune to spells.
Let's get on.
So if I try to use my chain lightning on him, it won't actually work. He's immune to magic.
I am the war
And he dropped a ring of protection.
Lokrigar.
Excellent. Thrall has
Excellent.
found a magic ring. Rings are very useful because they provide a constant passive benefit as long as they are carried.
So yeah, that gives +1 protection. If we look over here, we have armor base 4, +1. So that, if we drop the ring, our armor gives us 18% damage reduction. If we pick it up, we get 22% damage reduction.
The war chief.
You can get all these stats here. One of the big things that's important to notice about heroes is that they have strength, agility, and intelligence points, which is fairly standard. Strength, so as you can see here, strength will always give every hero increase in hit points and hit point regen. Agility gives armor and attack speed, and intelligence gives mana and mana regen. But depending on what your primary stat is, so for Thrall, he's the Farsight, so his primary stat is intelligence. That indicates what you get your damage boosts from. So every point Thrall has in intelligence will give him +1 point in damage.
Spirits are restless. Dabu. Lokrigar Nogal.
So that's kind of important when you're looking for items to pick up to give them to the right heroes.
Yes. Dabu.
So we can go this way.
For honor. Da forest trolls. I still can't believe they were ever a part of the Horde. Restless.
Indeed.
Yes.
So we got Forest Troll Trapper, and Forest Troll Berserker. The Forest Trolls, specifically the Amani tribe, was the one that were the most prolific. Are natives of Azeroth. They didn't come from Draenor. I'll use another chain lightning here, and I can show you the potion of mana. And that's at the manual of health.
Very good. That treasure chest held a magic tome that can be used to give Thrall a permanent benefit.
Yeah, so those don't even, yeah, as you can see, it doesn't take up an inventory slot. You just immediately use them, and that gave Thrall, I think, like 25 bonus health permanently. Yeah, so the Forest Trolls were mainly allied with the Horde because they really hated the High Elves, and the High Elves were allied with the Alliance. So Zul'jin of the Amani tribe allied himself with Orgrim Doomhammer, but the Orcs and the Trolls never really trusted each other. They were pretty much just, you know, it was an alliance of convenience, if anything. So we're about to hit the Prophet over here, but before I do, I'm going to try and find a little Easter egg hidden on this map.
Dabu.
Don't actually know where it is in particular, and I hope I don't run out of mana trying to find it.
Yes. Dabu.
Ah, crap. What I could do is I could put in a cheat code. Yes, infinite mana. There it is. Okay, so you can see some scurvy pirates. And what are they guarding? The fattest loot. Definitely.
Let's
That's a little Easter egg you can find with your Farsight. You can't get over there, but you can see it. I won't be using cheats for the rest of the campaign. Alright, we found the prophet. Look at this guy.
Greetings, son of Diratan. I knew you'd find your way.
It was you I saw in the vision. Who are you? How do you know me?
I know many things, young war chief, about you and your people. My identity at this time is unimportant. What is important is that you rally your people and leave these shores immediately.
Leave? What's this all about, human?
Human? I left my humanity behind long ago. I am something different now. Know that I have seen the future and beheld the great burning shadow that is coming to consume this world. You sense it as well, don't you?
The demons are returning.
Yes, and only by leading your people across the sea to the distant lands of Kalimdor will you have a chance to stand against them.
But how could we—
I will answer all of your questions in time, young war chief. For now, rally your warriors and prepare to leave this land. We will speak again.
None of this makes sense. But the spirits tell me that I should trust him.
And of course, Thrall is, why is this off-center? Thrall is a shaman trained by, the Frost Wolf shaman Drekthar, so he is very in tune with the spirits, and he is obviously going to follow this prophet's, instructions. So we're gonna hit continue, because we won the first mission. Very loud. Chapter 2, Departures, 3 days later near the Lordaeron coast. So let's look at this map really quick. There's not a lot to look at, but if you can see up at the top, you can see their Durnhold Keep. That was the keep that Thrall was raised at by Adelis Blackmore. So he's still in this kind of area, freeing orcs from internment camps. And also in this next cutscene we're about to watch, we're going to hear one of the reforged dialogue changes, because they're going to start mentioning Grommash Hellscream. So Grommash Hellscream is the father of Garrosh Hellscream, first of all, but Garrosh has no point in the story. He's never mentioned. But in this game, he was mostly referred to as Grom, because that was just a nickname he had. And at one point, he's actually referred to as his full name, Grommash. But everyone just calls him Grom in this game. But Blizzard has just been trying to, like, retcon that for years. They just don't want him to ever be called Grom. And so when it came to this game, they actually edited all the dialogue so that they'll always just refer to him as Hellscream, even if it sounds really awkward and bad. So when you hear them talking about him, just know that that's the explanation. Well, let's go.
It's been 3 days and this prophet has yet to show himself. I hope I'm not making a huge mistake by trusting you.
War Chief, the clans are assembling as you ordered, but it will take them some time to reach us.
Then we must prepare this camp immediately. I want my warriors to have food and proper lodgings when they arrive.
Yes, War Chief.
Warrior, has there been any word from Grom Hellscream?
Oh.
He and the Warsong clan were supposed to have been here by now.
No, War Chief. We haven't heard from Hellscream in some time.
Damn it, Grom.
Ooh.
Who are you?
Oh, it's not edited. Look at that. I wonder if that was something they changed, or if that's because I'm playing with the original graphics.
Button at the top of the
That is great. If that's something they changed, I'm super happy about that.
Find out more about
Sorry, narrator, I'm not listening to you. So this is the Peon, one of my favorite units. I love their quotes.
Peons can harvest
God
gold
damn it,
from
narrator.
gold mines, such as the- To begin collecting
Come on,
gold-
narrator. I'm trying to listen to the Peon.
Something you're doing? What? Me busy. Leave me alone.
The more you click on units, the more they have a chance of giving you like funny quotes. So yeah, we're going to just start.
Once a peon has been ordered to harvest gold.
We're gonna start setting them to get gold. So instead of minerals and Vespine, like you have in StarCraft, we have gold and lumber, which you get from trees.
Additional peons. To increase the rate of gold collection, order them to harvest from the same gold mine.
Peons. There we go. So you can have maximum of 5 peons getting gold. You can have more, but the efficiency is capped out at 5 peons. So we're gonna make one more for that. And while we have this base building, I'm gonna send Thrall out. Oh my god, this narrator is driving me crazy. We need to talk about the other stuff. So this is the Great Hall, obviously. This is where you train peons. It's just the main building that you have. You upgrade it to get better tiers of stuff. Let's make another peon. Oh, god damn it. Yeah, so he's talking about supply. Instead of supply, you have food, and that's what you get from these orc burrows. The burrows have another function where you can load up your peons inside of them, similar to a bunker from StarCraft, but it's for your workers. I know. I'm just gonna keep making peons, and we're gonna go ahead and make a.
Select one of your unit-producing structures and right-click on the ground.
Warcraft 3 is a much slower game than StarCraft. StarCraft is very breakneck, whereas this is kind of more slow and methodical, and it has a much bigger focus on
to increase the rate of which
shh, quiet narrator. It has a much bigger focus on microing your units in the middle of a battle, rather than building up a big economy and having a better army. Although StarCraft also has that as well. So let me make another burrow. Shut up. Okay, we're gonna make a burrow so we can increase our food, so we can get more stuff, and then we're gonna need to make a barracks as well. So this is all part of our main quest to establish a base. It's just teaching how to play Orc, even though we're not gonna be playing Orc for very long. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna send Thrall up here, because otherwise he's not really gonna have anything to do. This is kind of the limit where we have to go, so we're gonna head up here and just fight some gnolls, just so Thrall can get I think he can actually get XP, which is something they changed for Reforged, and I kind of like that here. Being able to get XP so you can get another point. Alright, so yeah, I built a war mill, so instead of the peons having to go all the way back to the Great Hall to deliver their lumber, they can just deliver it right here. And yeah, like the narrative saying, you can upgrade your soldiers here. Steel melee weapon, steel unit armor. And let me also make a barracks. And some more peons to get lumber. And we built a burrow, barracks, and we just need to train 5 grunts. And I'll have the grunts head over here. Alright, Thrall, you can come over here. Chain lightning! So this is actually going to be a good use for our potion of healing. Fighting all these guys. And you dropped a scroll of healing, and the scroll of healing actually heals all your units in an area, whereas the potion of healing only heals Thrall. That now.
All available upgrades appear as buttons.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, I don't actually. No, I don't need any more peons. We're good. I guess I'll go ahead and grab these. More lumber. There we go. So, research is actually a lot quicker in this game. In StarCraft 2, it takes forever. So work's complete on our barracks, so we can start making grunts. And I kind of want to make another barracks, but I don't have enough lumber just yet. So we're going to make grunts and have him go over to Thrall, and he's going to stand guard over here. And then there's the Altar of Storm, so if Thrall dies, we can resurrect him here. Alright, we can go ahead and make another barracks. Okay.
My life for the Horde.
My life for the Horde.
For honor, Master. The spirits.
Watchtower, scout towers rather. We have watchtowers. These things shoot. They're pretty good.
Research complete.
We shouldn't have to build a burrow for. Might as well just build one. I have the funds for it.
My life for the Horde. What regard, O God?
So just need to make some more grunts. Units train slower though in this game because you use less units. In StarCraft you have armies of like hundreds of guys potentially. In this that's not the case. But each unit is a lot more important to keep alive and to make sure they're being efficient in the damage they're dealing. Alright, so once these guys finish training, we'll be all set.
What you want? I am the War Chief. Master, I am the War Chief. Logregard, yes. What you want?
Logregard, no golem.
The spirits are restless.
Work complete.
Let's get on with it.
Something you're doing? My life for the Horde.
The spirits
What
are
you
restless.
I'm
want?
definitely going to check off camera to see if the edited dialogue is still there in the reforged graphics version. Alright, here we go.
You orcs are in violation of the Alliance Internment Act. We've already captured one of your leaders. If you surrender now, we'll spare your lives.
War Chief, they say they've captured one of our leaders. Maybe they're referring to Thrall.
I hope not. But if they have captured Hellscream, I'll make them regret it.
Loktarogar!
Come, my warriors. We must drive the humans back.
I'm so happy that they're not... Because in the other... Oh, I don't even have all my warriors here. Good thing we have the watchtowers. So yeah, these are the basic alliance, the human footmen, and that was the captain, who's just a more powerful footman, essentially. So yeah, Thrall actually isn't gaining levels right now, unfortunately, so that's fine. Oh, we got another. Alright, I think we should be good. I'm actually just gonna use my scroll of healing.
Cross the bridge and locate Grom.
Yeah, so before it was like, maybe they're referring to Hellscream. It sounded really awkward. We'll use the scroll of healing here, and that'll heal our guys up. And we can head across the river. We'll destroy these towers. But they still say Gromash everywhere because Blizzard, they really don't like people calling him Grom. Yes, my warriors. Lok Narosh. So the Alliance really wants to get these orcs back in the internment camps because, well, the Horde kind of fucked up the entire world, and they're really scared of them still.
Dub. Yes.
More towers, so their towers don't shoot. The human towers actually need to be upgraded to shoot at stuff on their own, whereas our towers, you can just build them ready to shoot. Yeah, we have the ability here to do it.
The spirits are restless.
Your time has come.
Logregard, no god.
And we'll break down the gate.
Let's get on.
Break down the gate! Invade their towns!
Honor.
But we're not going to kill innocents because that's not the kind of Horde Thrall wants to run.
Master, slow move.
Thrall's all about creating a more honorable Horde than his predecessors. You know, it started out with Black Hand's Horde, which is pretty much puppeted by Gul'dan, and they were just horrible. They were so awful and corrupt. They were all about demons and just genocide. And then, after the first war, Orc Doomhammer took over, and he wanted to be more honorable, but he still understood that they needed to take out the Alliance so they could actually survive in Azeroth. Because if they tried going back to Draenor, they would all just die, because Draenor was just so messed up. Ah, look at that, a shaman.
Control multiple spell
So Thrall's obviously a big bad shaman, but then we have our little baby unit shamans. So they're a lot weaker than the grunts in terms of damage, but they have the purge spellcasting ability, which removes all buffs and debuffs,
Notice that the
and it'll
currently
slow the
selected
unit.
Are displayed in the bottom middle
Thank
portion.
you, narrator. I'm not going to be using purge at all because there's really no point. But we might see it later once we actually have stuff that we need to buff and debuff, or those that we need to remove, as it were. And these are the human riflemen, their ranged units. They're pretty good. You'll see me building a lot of them when I play the humans. So what was I saying? Yeah, so Doomhammer, he had a more honorable horde, but it was still, they still needed to do war and kill a lot of people because they needed to survive. It was a matter of survival for them at that point. And now Thrall is
Your
just...
army has grown to such a large size that it now requires a portion of your income to sustain it. This maintenance cost is referred to as upkeep.
Interesting. So, yeah, this is a feature that isn't in StarCraft. Once you get to a certain number of food, you start losing. So we're losing 30% of our gold income right now. The peons are coming back with only 7 gold as opposed to 10. And then once you get even higher, you only come back with 4 gold. And that basically, they're just telling, hey, you need to start throwing your units away because... Oh god. And here are the bigger... These are like the big daddy boys. The knights.
But the area is protected by fortified guard towers. Then destroy them. Hillstream must be free.
The big daddy knights. They're very strong, they're very fast, but they're very expensive. And we will go ahead and run in here. Ow, they're shooting my shaman. Towers are smart. Why do you towers have to be so smart? Just gonna take my shamans out. They're not doing enough damage to be worth it. They're just gonna get killed. Alright. Now it's shooting Thrall. Wow, my grunts are having a hard time finding it. There we go. We did it! We rescued Grom! Ash.
Fine, brother. Luckily, they only injured my pride.
Great, because we're getting out of here now. We're leaving the human lands for good.
Finally, follow me. I have an idea. We can set sail on the humans' own ships.
Perfect. But we'll need to wait for the rest of the Horde. The Horde is assembled, Warchief. We await only your command.
Yes.
Now, go, young Thrall. Sail west to the lands of Kalimdor. It is there that you will find your destiny. It is there that your people's salvation will be assured.
Thank you, mysterious prophet. So there you go. That's mission 2. Now, in the original game, that's where it ended. You just moved on to the next campaign. But there was actually some unfinished missions that they never actually added in. And in Reforged, they actually fully voiced them and added them in as official parts of the game, which I think was really cool. So we're going to be playing those next. And I think that's going to be the end of this episode, though, because we're already going on for a while. I'm probably going to film a lot of this in one day, but I'll stagger the release as usual with these series. This music's very loud. And I'm also going to check the audio to make sure it's all okay, and I can make adjustments as we need. So, there you go. Thanks for watching.